Welcome to another episode of Forever an Athlete podcast, where the podcast is just dedicated to the athletes post their athletic journey, following their health and fitness journey, where we talk about fitness goals, relationships, what it takes to continue to be athletic and fit and healthy, and their journey post playing a sport. People don't, I'm gonna just say this real quick, because people don't understand, this is like maybe the second or third time that we tried to record an episode together. And I don't know if the devil was saying not to record this, but we're gonna go ahead and prove him.
Nah, I'm telling you what it is. He knows that it's probably gonna be your best one.
Yeah.
He don't want you to do it.
He doesn't.
He's trying to stop you from getting it done.
Really?
And if you can figure out a way to get it done, it'll probably be your best one.
The best one.
Damn.
That might be the one that goes viral. But I actually was listening to, do you know who Bishop Bronner is?
Heard of him.
Okay, so I go to his church, and he did a word on hills and valleys.
Okay.
And he was just basically saying what you were saying, that God is not just a God of hills, he's also a God of valleys.
Absolutely.
And so appreciate those low valleys.
Absolutely.
Because when you get on top of that hill,
absolutely,
the blessings are just flowing.
Yeah.
And I think this is a valley right now, but we're not gonna
okay.
get too religious or too gaudy right now.
But I'm gonna tell you, man, you learn more in the valley than you do at the top. You know what I mean?
I like that. I like that. This is my boy, James. I love James. I actually met James at the loft one day. I walked in to do Body Shock, and you were there.
It's true.
Just tell a little bit about yourself before we get started. First of all, thank you for having us. I appreciate it.
Thank you guys for having me.
Thank you. I mean, I thank you for having
No, don't worry. I got you.
I'm talking a little fast right now. Go ahead.
It's okay. So my name is James. On IG is Mr. Lost Heart Fit. I'm a personal trainer at the Loft Athletic Club. It'll be 2 years in May. Been in Atlanta about almost 3 years now. I'm an ex-baseball player. I played all throughout high school and college, junior college for 2 years, and then Jackson State University for a year, kind of.
We'll get into that.
Yeah, we'll get into that. But after baseball, I ended up moving back to my hometown of the coast of Mississippi, which is like, nobody knows Moss Point, but maybe you do, I don't need to say that because we got so many people that's kind of put us on the map.
Right.
Devin Booker for one, my guy who, put Moss Point on the map.
What you know about Devin Booker?
That's my guy.
He plays for the Phoenix
Suns. Yeah, he's from my hometown.
Didn't he break a record like when Kobe was alive?
71 points or something.
Yeah, light skin. It's the light skin thing.
It is what it is.
Light skin is still
But his pop's like my color, so he really got a kill in him.
So you look caramel.
He really got a kill in his, under the light skin vest. But so it's like Biloxi, Gulfport, Moss Point. That makes up the coast of Mississippi. So I ended up moving back there, started working, gained a bunch of weight. Ended up moving back to Jackson, Mississippi, which is where Jackson University is, to finish school. And I was a shell of myself. You know what I mean? I hadn't gained a bunch of weight. I think I was wearing like a size 40 in pants when I was like Wiz Khalifa skinny before my son was born. So like I said, I just didn't know myself anymore. So through fitness, I found myself again. And like at the time that I started getting back into fitness, like I said, I just felt lost, but I felt like I had just a lot of passion, a lot of something to give to something. You know what I mean? And fitness was kind of a vehicle for me to, get to where I want to be.
Right, I like that. So I heard you said you were Wiz Khalifa size before you had your kid. Do you think having a baby was one of the reasons why you lost yourself?
Not necessarily. I think it was, baseball gave me an identity. You know what I mean? And without it, I don't think I had an identity anymore. And I think a lot of athletes suffer with that. You know what I mean? Like whatever we do and play, that's kind of that's what, when people see us, John, he played football for Alabama.
Right.
You know what I mean? When John don't play football for Alabama, it's like, that's John that used to play football for Alabama.
Right.
John really can't identify with that.
The used to part.
The used to part.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because you only could go off that for so long.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's okay for a while, but then you only could go off it for so long. And I think most athletes go through a depression phase or, whatever it may be. And not a lot of athletes continue to work out. because they working out is synonymous with being an athlete, and they're not an athlete anymore.
Right.
You know, so you stop working out, you start eating crazy, and I started working in a chemical plant around other fat people that was I mean, it is what it is. Overweight. We're not gonna say fat.
It's a technical term.
Some guys, man, they deserve to sit in there eating all that stuff, had me eating all that stuff
Right.
with them. But some overweight people, man, they was eating, and I joined suit, and before long I looked like them, and really didn't recognize myself anymore when I looked in the mirror for real.
It's so crazy that you said that, because I was listening to Sarah Jakes today, and she said we tend to look and be pretty much mirror who we hang around with and who we surround ourselves with.
Absolutely.
So you said you started looking like them.
Yeah, I tell my son all the time, I was like, look, you show me your 5 closest friends, I show you your future.
Facts.
Like, if you really want to be a great basketball player, then you need to hang around guys that want to be the same.
Hang around me. If you want to be a great basketball player, hang around me.
Yeah, he's like super dedicated. So I'm like, look, don't hang around guys that's not, pushing toward a goal that you're pushing toward, especially right now in your life. Like, even if you got a friend, he plays football, like, nah, you need to hang around basketball players. So when they go hoop, you go hoop.
Right.
You know what I mean?
How old is your son?
He's 13.
13. And does he live in Atlanta? Or?
He lives in Mississippi.
Mississippi, okay.
Yeah. I'm actually going back down there this weekend for his first AAU tournament.
Oh, that's going to be dope.
Yeah, it is. I got him some KDs. He going to be, hey.
Look at you, the dad of the year.
He going to at least look the part.
At least. Well, I don't know if we're going to put up buckets.
Hey, Deion said if he look good, he going to play
good. That's what they
If he
say.
play good, they going to pay good.
Look, if you look good, you work out good.
Hey, try to tell you.
Get that forever athlete.
You see that hat?
You see that? Hey, look, y'all, I'm going to show y'all.
Come on. And get that forever athlete, too. I got me one, a leather joint.
Why?
Fire.
This is that Lost Heart Fit hat real
Fit
quick.
club, yeah.
I love it. He gifted me with this before the show, so I had to throw it on for you real quick. Just show the love and support like you show me. I appreciate that. So you talked about, you said a lot in just a short period of time, but you said people have a hard time identifying with that that's someone that used to play. So again, the hills and the valleys, I'm telling you, the hills and the valleys.
On now.
But we gonna thrive in the valley. Because
Absolutely.
when we get up to that hill again, like you said.
Look, it's gonna be well worth it. And two, like we go back to whom much is given, much is required for real. Like when you get to this place that you see, the podcast being, it's like, who are you gonna help? Like, what are you gonna be able to tell them if you never experienced nothing? Right. You know what I mean? If every episode was great, perfect.
You're right.
Everything ran smoothly.
You're right. And it hasn't.
Come on.
Yeah.
So like, that's the beauty of it.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, you must be going like super large places.
I love it. You be always dropping the gems. I love it. So let's go back before we were interrupted. You said that athletes have a hard time dealing with that word that he used to play football, or he used to play baseball. How did you cope with that? Because we all go through that.
I think for me, if I can just really think back, probably was smoking some weed, maybe drinking a little alcohol, girls, because you know what I mean, most girls, they hadn't really hit them that you used to. They still thinking about the John that played. So when you're around them, you almost get that euphoria of, I'm still that guy, but you're really not.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I think that can lead you down a road that you really don't want to travel. So, and that's I think that's probably the biggest thing, the women. You know what I mean? Not a lot of guys smoke, not a lot of guys drink, but the women is kind of, because you partying probably at that point if you looking for the women, because you want to see who can see your face and remember you, and they not thinking in the club that you just got cut in Alabama. You know what I mean? They think you probably still playing. You just at home for a second. Right. You know what I mean? They make you feel a certain way, and I think, that's kind of the road that I went down, really. So
you think women helped you cope with that used to play baseball or used to be an athlete?
Absolutely.
Was it a positive cope?
It's a negative cope. A negative cope.
So would you really say it helped you get over it if it was negative?
I won't say it helped me get over it, but it played a part. Because, you have to reflect when certain things happen.
Right.
and I was about to have a son, and so you can imagine if this is the road that I'm going down.
Right.
At this point, what's going on with the mom, so that caused a breakup. You know what I mean, in a relationship. So, I was forced to reflect, and it's like, damn, you losing yourself in a sense.
Right.
So.
So, what would you suggest? Would you suggest sleeping around, or would you suggest the recreational drugs and the drinking for people that are transitioning from sports into the real world? Man,
I would suggest find an anchor, like somebody that you can talk to that experienced it before you decide to do anything. I think you should probably dig within yourself to see like, what is it that I really want to do, like, and then too to ask yourself like, what was my why for doing what I was doing, like whether it was basketball, football, or baseball, like asking yourself like, why was I doing that?
Right.
And then identifying that, and then like, how can I still achieve this even if I don't play a sport? Identify your why.
Yeah. How would we go about doing that?
I think we all like can say, I wanted to become a professional athlete so I can do X, Y, Z. A lot of times it's take care of our parents, take care of our family. You know what I mean? How else do you take care of a family? You know what I mean? You make money. So how else can I make money if I don't play a sport? Then I think that's what gets you to thinking. A lot of times a quick fix is a job. There's nothing wrong with that. But at the end of the day, like, I think if you wanted to be a professional athlete, then I think like you probably want to think outside the box. You know what I mean? And try to like go for something that you really can't maybe see happening, but I mean, maybe you can't you can see it, but you don't know all the steps at that particular moment. So, kind of still dream big in a sense.
Right. I agree with that but you said maybe a job, and I kind of disagree and agree with you because when I first left college sports, I did have a job. I actually became a coach, a grad assistant. So I was at Regis College, where I went to school for 2 years. You know how they do, pay for your school, coach, 2 years, whatever. We won 2 championships. Shout out to Regis College. That's where I got my master's degree in education. So then I coached. I went to Kobe College. I coached. So I'm still surrounded by athletes. You get what I'm saying? So I'm still in that. Oh, now she's not an athlete. She's this Division II, Division III coach now.
Absolutely.
That's Coach Wells. That's Coach Crystal.
Facts.
So I still felt good, right?
Yeah.
But then when I got out of sports completely, I became a sales for a loan company.
Yeah.
Miserable.
Right.
Miserable.
Right.
So, getting a job, you really have to, like you said, take some time to discover your why, because, every job is not going to fulfill you. Absolutely. Especially when you've been competing your whole life playing sports.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I just, how would you think that an athlete graduating college, how would they go about finding a job that's more fulfilling? Man, I think... So they don't lose themselves.
I don't think that, maybe coaching. Because when you said that, that's almost like an extension of playing. So you still kind of attached to that in a sense. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, I think when an athlete is, first kick off, you really betting on you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I believe when you get done, whatever sport, man, bet on you again. You know what I mean? Like, figure out something and bet on you again, because that's your nature. That's what's gonna make you thrive. You're back against the wall, you gotta compete with somebody. These same intangibles of being an athlete is same things that you need to succeed in life. Right. So that would be my advice. Find something that you could be passionate about and just bet on you, man. And go from there. Yeah, I heard that. Bet on you, like we did as athletes. Absolutely. Like we did that. So take us down the journey of you playing baseball. You played for Jackson, and then it was your short tenure there. Yeah. Tell us what happened. Really take y'all back now. I really was that guy on the football field. Were you? And on the basketball court. I hear you. So look, but you haven't played one-on-one with me, though. I played AAU basketball at a time where you had to really be good. Okay. I was during that time. Okay, maybe you were, but did you ever play at the Milk House? Where was this? Orlando. That's the national tournament. Oh, the national tournament. Yes. Okay. Well, green screen. Okay, well, I was there. So Milk House. Boo Williams. Boo. Okay. What's the other one?
That's in Virginia.
And I was young too. I was young at the time. And I had really just started to play basketball. So I was good, but I really didn't know how to play. Like my IQ was low.
Right.
You know what I mean? I was just fast. I could shoot. I could play defense, whatever. So I played, and I played football, but baseball kind of took over at a time where I was playing on a little all-star football team. Like December, man, these guys had mustaches and stuff, and we were scrawny, me and my team. And I think after the game, I ended up having to go to the hospital, and they found out both of my kidneys were on the same side. So when they found out that, no more football, no more basketball.
Really?
So I was stuck with baseball. And I was a good baseball player, and I went to baseball school at Florida State, you know, my 10th, 11th, and 12th grade year. And, you know, I thought, because this was around the time of Katrina. So when I graduated high school, this when Katrina had hit in New Orleans. So it kind of really threw recruiting off. It threw like everything off as far as sports was concerned on the like coastline of Mississippi and Louisiana. But I ended up signing with a junior college, which was Mississippi Gulf Coast Community College. Played there for 2 years. And I signed with Jackson State a little prematurely. I think I remember going to like their homecoming on my visit. I never seen that many black people at one time partying like that. It is what it is. Like, come on. I had been like sheltered at MGC, you know, and then get to Jackson State, it was like party time.
Right.
My parents wasn't there. I was there. I was like, oh, you know what? As soon as coach come pick me up in the morning, I'm signing. You know, and I had a junior college all-star game that followed that day that I signed with Jackson State. No way I should have signed with them that early. Right. I should have went to that game and then made my decision after, you know, to determine how I played. And I played great. So, you know, that's how that ended up happening.
But how did you end up leaving? You're not saying the story. We want to hear the real.
I know y'all can kind of hear the shade in my voice when I keep saying,
like
maybe I shouldn't.
You went to Jackson, you got a scholarship,
yeah,
you played.
Man. And
how did you end up leaving so early?
So early. So, look, I ended up getting kicked off the team. God, it hurt. But I ended up getting kicked off the team. Never told this story on live TV.
No, on live on camera. We get the real on Forever an Athlete podcast.
Okay, so spring break. Okay, I think I had been late a couple of times. I had been like late to practice a couple of times because I knew I was better than every infielder that they had at the time. If one of them watched this, it is what it is. I was better than all of them, and I think the coach knew it too. And I remember asking him one time like when I was gonna get my opportunity to play. He was like, yeah, you know, I kind of signed you for, you know, next year when these other guys leave. And I'm like, what, man? I'm a junior college transfer. There's no way you doing that. Right. So, and I think at that moment, I didn't have anybody in my corner to kind of keep me level. So I just kind of went my own way at that point. You know, kind of went rogue in a sense. And I remember spring break, wake up late. I got a couple missed calls from my coaches, and I'm speeding trying to get to the field. And when I get there, I was walking down the ramp going to the dugout, and the coach was like, hey, go home. I was like, dang, go home. He was like, yeah, go home. I remember turning around, walking away, and my friends, they all packing up finna go to Panama.
To play?
No, to party, for spring break. Right. And I'm like, hey, y'all done left? They like, nah. I said, hold on, I'm finna call my mama and see if I can go. So I'm like, hey, Mom, you know, coach just told me I can't, you know, he told me to go home. I can't play today. I don't know if I'm going to get to go on the little spring break trip with the team and da-da-da-da. They ain't not answering the phone for me. Can I go to Panama? Hey, if they not answering the phone for you, just go. Oh, man, why she say that? Had the best time of my life. Right. Man, you talk about, oh, my God, I couldn't post no pictures because nobody couldn't know I was there. But
you supposed to be pretending like you was hurt?
Yeah, and I know I was supposed to be. I don't know. I think I told him I had to go to like a funeral or something. Somebody passed away. That's terrible. But
you using people.
Oh my God! I told you I never told this story a day in my life. I was gonna take this one down, but yeah. So I ended up going to Panama. Man, I remember the team get on the bus, finna go to Texas, and it was like 2 days after they told me to go home. But we finna all go on this little spring break baseball trip. They calling me like, James, where you at? I'm like, damn, I could have went. Right. But I'm in Panama, drunk. They calling my phone. And it's like, dang, it's over with now. I'm already here. So I just really start partying at that point. And I get back and coach, I end up calling the meeting with my coach, you know, trying to show some initiative. Like, damn, I know I fucked up, whatever. I'm gonna go and talk to him. Man, I get in there. He called a girl softball coach in the office, which was a girl from my hometown. And he was like, you know, what should your punishment be? I was like, coach, you can run me till my tongue fall out my mouth. Just don't kick me off the team, you know. By this time, man, this girl, man, she good looking lady, man. I'm crying. I'm like, and he was like, hey, I think he kind of felt, you know, I really want to, whatever. But I think he kind of like, was like, you know what, I'm gonna teach him a lesson, man. And he was like, you know, turn in your jersey, I'll let you know what it'll be later. Man, he like drugged me on and never let me back on the team. It was terrible, man.
Wow.
But you know, everything happened for a reason.
Absolutely.
You know, and it just goes back to show, like, even if one vehicle got me that far, but you know, it came a time where it's time to hop into another one so we can still get to the destination.
Right.
Because that's still the goal.
Yeah.
No matter whether you're an athlete or not.
How did you feel that moment when, I mean, he said, turn in your jersey?
Devastated. But I could tell you, I think my car was the only car in the parking lot of where his office was. It was raining, it was a bad day. Yeah. And I remember just going back to my apartment and not wanting to go to class.
Hills and valleys.
Hills and valleys.
That was a valley.
Yeah, that was a real one. Cause I mean, even though like I was a 3-sport athlete, you know, majority of my entire life, I still thought I would make it in baseball, man. Like, I had all the tools, you know, like, it was, you know, black and white. It was like, you could see it. But not all the time it's gonna happen how you think it's gonna happen.
Right.
And you gotta be able to pivot.
Pivot, that's a good one.
Yeah.
How were you able to pivot?
I think it took me a minute.
That's when you was
For
with
sure.
the girls.
Yeah. Yeah, because I think when I actually moved back to Mississippi, when I actually moved back to like my hometown, you know, like I say, man, for a little while you still live off that hype.
Right.
You know what I mean? Until a lot of these girls understand, like, man, he ain't got nothing going on.
Right.
And then it's like, and by this time, you know, you done messed up a lot of relationships and you feeling terrible about yourself. You probably not even looking too great because you focusing on the wrong things, and that's kind of the road I went down for a while.
So life after sports, you got kicked out off your baseball team.
Mm-hmm.
How did you remain in fitness after that?
Honestly, I think, so where I'm from, it's a lot of like bodybuilder guys, and these guys like big, lift a lot of weight, but they were like, it was that kind of scene down there, but I really wasn't into that really just yet, so I really wasn't working out anymore. Like I wasn't doing anything, honestly. Maybe some pickup basketball here and there. And it showed, like I'm telling you, I gained like, for my son was like 1, I hadn't gained, I know, like 40 pounds. You know what I'm saying? And it wasn't until I went back to finish my degree, like to get my accounting degree, that I was on my brother's couch and ended up coming out of the I was coming out of the bathroom one night. He was like, bro, like, you letting yourself go. Like, I think I didn't have a shirt on, and I ended up going back into the bathroom and looking in the mirror, and it was just like, man, who is this? You know what I mean? It's like big stomach, no muscle definition. Oh man, like not acceptable at all.
You sound like, your brother sounds like my dad, because you said he looked at you like, you let yourself go. Yeah. My dad, it be the funny people. You know what gets me is that it don't be the best looking size-wise or body-wise that makes you redefine your lifestyle.
Right.
Like my dad, I come visit my dad in California. He lives out here now, but back then, a couple of years ago, when I started my journey, I think it was right before COVID. I'll go visit him in California, and he goes, "Dang, Chris, you need to stay away from the bacon, fried food." He was like, "You looking like a Teletubby, I was like, Dad, you can't say that to a woman. Right. And he was like, "You just kind of like too thick." Like, Dad, you cannot say that. And literally, I swear, like, it was that moment where I went back and looked at myself, and then I started my journey after fitness. I mean, after sports. That's when it began.
Yeah.
And it was probably about 6 years ago. Don't get me wrong. I went to the gym, the little apartment gym, ran half a mile. Oof. Did some curls, did some oof. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then was like, yeah, I worked out today.
Right.
And then when he said, stay away from the bacon,
Yeah.
I was looking at myself like, then I got on supplements.
Yeah.
Herbalife,
Okay.
2 shakes a day.
Getting to it.
Taking Prolesa, that fat burner, taking pre-workout, doing this. And then I had my biggest transformation. I think I posted it on the gram not too long ago. I was like, that's when I had the biggest. Now everybody's saying you too skinny.
Oh, okay.
You too skinny.
Right. That's how it goes.
So it was just that defining moment of my dad saying like, you got to stay away from the bacon.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Words are so powerful.
Yeah, and that's why like the ones you say to yourself are the most powerful. You know what I mean? Because a lot of times we don't want to tell ourselves the truth.
Right.
You know what I mean? It takes somebody that's like close to us to like say something that trigger, It
hurts even worse.
It does, but like these are conversations we need to have with ourselves. You know what I mean? Like you want to be your best self at all times.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that means like looking like it, or at least like doing something that's helping you get to that point.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because not everybody's gonna have a 6-pack, not everybody's gonna have some chiseled up body. But if you going to the gym every day or you exercising every day, whatever it is, like it's good for your mental, you know what I mean? And your body gonna reap the benefit of whatever you're doing. But to just completely let yourself go, man, that's like the biggest form of like
Disappointment.
You know what I mean?
What are you doing every day? What are you doing? Like, because you have to have professional development, and you have to have just some type of something to want to do fitness every day, want to remain healthy. What are you doing that you don't ever have that conversation with your brother or anybody else for that matter? Like, let yourself go. You let yourself go, bro. Like, what are you doing not to have that conversation?
I think it's like just every day trying to push toward having discipline. You know what I mean? And I think the power of that lies in your routine. You know what I mean? Like, what do you do when you first wake up in the morning? Like, what does it look like? How's your day set up? Is it a workout programmed in it? Is some meditations, set up in it? Because a lot of times if we clogged up mentally, we don't even want to go to the gym sometimes, most people. So like to meditate at some point of the day, like is keeping that mind clear so you can continue to like knock out these tasks and be goal oriented. And, I think having some consistency within that leads into other things too. And me being a personal trainer and being just around fitness, like I work out every day and I enjoy it. Like the gym is my refuge in a sense, you know what I mean? So, even though like, I'm getting my body in shape, that's still my place I go to just like get in deep thought, think, like push some weight around. If I got some aggression built up, whatever it is, like that's my place. So,
are you, when you have some aggression or you need to be in deep thought, are you a headphones over your head kind of person, or are you just?
For me, I'm definitely a headphones over the head kind of person, because a lot of times people want to talk, especially if they see you in shape. Like if they see the muscles popping out on them reps,
They're like, "What up?
Hey, what you taking?
What
you doing? What your regimen look like? That's how they get to you." But so I'm like, headphones in, probably dead stare or something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just trying to lock in and trying to use that time for myself. But you still like people. I still find myself like helping people in the gym. If they do stop me, we talking. And I try to keep it down to a minimum, because I do have a goal in which I'm trying to accomplish by being in here. But at the same time, like, goes back to whom much is given, much is required. Like,
Right.
People ask you something and help them.
How did you get into fitness after playing baseball?
Like I said, I started working out, I lost all that weight. I went from probably like 240 was my heaviest. I got down to like 175 pounds. So, for people to be like, oh, you fat, didn't say you skinny. I experienced that as well, because to get down to 175 pounds was like, I was super shredded. And I think my face was shredded, head, everything. I had a coconut. But when I started doing that, I didn't actually start personal training for fitness. I started doing my baseball lessons. And from doing that and me working out in the facility all the time, I started helping the parents. So I started, 1 or 2, and then that kind of grew. In my following was really back home, and I was in Jackson, Mississippi at the time. So I met this girl and then decided to move back home and started my business down there, and it like took off like wildfire. So that's kind of how it happened.
Have you faced any challenges in this new phase of fitness?
Man, I think I've faced challenges in every phase. Like even when I moved back home and everything took off, like everything came to an abrupt stop. I ended up falling out with the gym owner of the gym that I was training in, and really didn't have a place to go at that point.
This was back home?
This was back home. So I felt like I was just like in quicksand at that moment, and decided to move to Atlanta. And even coming here, experiencing every emotion, everything didn't click right off the bat. But since it has, it's been
good.
Been great, yeah.
How did you navigate those challenges?
Just like not giving up, just having a not give up attitude. And like I said, it's like goes back to being an athlete. Like when I decided to move, like I just basically bet on me. Like I left a job that I could have worked and been okay. You know what I mean? I left, my family, and really just said, hey, look, if anything's gonna change in my family and in my life, I'm gonna have to make this move. So that's what I decided to do. And it did come a time where I wanted to move back because, Atlanta is a whole beast. And coming from a little place like Mississippi, it's different.
Yeah.
But I remember having a little conversation with my son. Shout out to him. I remember like being on like the end, like no car, no place to live, and asked him, I was like, what you think about me coming back home? And he was like, man, it'll be nice for you to come back, but I remember what you said it would do for us if you made this move. And
wow.
I remember what you said it would do for you and all the opportunities it would give you. So I was like, man, what you trying to say? I can't come back? He was like, nah, you gotta stay. I was like, dang. Man, he didn't know that I didn't have a car. He didn't know that I was living in my brother's tattoo shop. And he didn't know any of that. And he was like, hey, you gotta stay. So I think that right there alone made me look like just continue to push. And I think in that moment, I changed my perspective on my situation and stopped thinking like, oh man, nothing is working out, to like, okay, everything's about to work out if I just keep going. And then, one thing after another, and here we are.
Wow, that's crazy. From your son.
He was 11 at the time.
He said, I remember what you said, if you stay.
Yeah.
That's deep.
Man, come on.
That's deep. Dang, that's deep.
Yeah, for sure.
So when's the last time you've ever, like you said he was 11 at the time, when's the last time you've had that thought of going home?
I think that was the last time.
So you're comfortable where you are?
I won't say I'm comfortable, because like I'm in an environment where I understand that like it's so much opportunity, it's so much room for growth, and like I'm around people that are like, better, in whatever they're doing than I am in this current moment, or, just bigger in this current moment than I am. And I think that keeps me motivated. Like I'm not like, oh man, like these guys got it all, like, and I'm just like starting or whatever, but I just get motivated because I think God put me around some people, and he's like, look, if you grind, if you continue to do X, Y, Z, same thing. It goes back to you show me your friends, I show you your future. Like I don't hang around a lot of people, but the people that I'm around most of the time are super influential. They're, very successful. So,
Do you feel like those people that are very successful and who have a lot of influence, do you think that they put pressure on you to be something bigger than what you are?
I think they definitely challenge me, because we talk a lot, but I put a lot of that stuff on myself. You know what I mean? So if nobody can put anything on me. You know what I mean? Because I've already placed it there myself. I know the importance of me getting to every place I need to be, in my life, and so it's like nobody can kind of put that pressure on you. Like I kind of welcome the adversity for real, because it's always gonna be there. You know what I mean? I think if we think it's just gonna be sweet, like it's just gonna be smooth sailing, then you set yourself up for failure.
Right.
Yeah.
Hills and valleys. We just
Hills and valleys.
experienced hills
Come
and
on.
valleys, just like in this episode.
Absolutely.
Actually, in the last one too.
We did.
People don't even. We're gonna smile through the hills. We're gonna smile through the valleys because we know it's a brighter side.
You know the crazy thing, when they see like the final episode, they're not even gonna. They're not even gonna have no recollection of like
What
how
happened?
hard it was
Right.
for us to get this done.
Right.
Or the difficulties we faced.
Right.
It's gonna look
Preach.
effortless.
Right. I hope so.
See, it is.
So you said hopping in one vehicle, getting into the next. How can you, or what can you say to our athletes that are getting ready to experience life after sports? I mean, we all get ready. We all experience it. It comes to a point where, they graduate high school, they graduate college, and they just don't know what's next.
Yeah.
But you mentioned something very valuable, which was hopping in out of one vehicle, hopping into the next. How do you know when to hop into that next vehicle? How do you prepare yourself to hop into that next vehicle?
I think we all understand when something is just over. And a lot of people, they sit in the car and they just, pound on the wheel about why they, it didn't stop. But I think the faster you can get out of that vehicle that has stopped and figure out, whatever your passion is, whatever you could possibly be like, just passionate about and have a purpose, like something that's gonna get you up when you don't want to get up, and it can't be just making a couple dollars.
Right.
You know what I mean? What is that gonna look like? And from there, figuring out what that vehicle really is. For me, it was fitness. For other people, it could be, if you was a basketball player, start giving lessons, start a travel team. I don't know, like dive into that first. And if that don't work out, then figure out something else. I don't know, like pray. You know what I mean? That God show you a way.
All else fails, pray.
No, for real, not
Higher
even.
power.
No, absolutely. Not even if all else fails. Like do that first. Ask for some guidance, man, because at the end of the day, like we can have all the plans in the world for ourselves, but if God don't say the same, then
It's not gonna work.
it's not gonna work.
It's not gonna work. You're so right.
So
I wish I was heavily in faith then, but I wish I utilized it.
yeah,
You know what I mean? I was brought up in the church. I go to church every Sunday, almost. If I don't, I listen to my word on my computer, on my phone, whatever. But I really wish that I had some more alone time with God,
yeah,
because I think that God would have gave you some guidance earlier.
yeah. But I think some kids growing up, they experience things that bring them closer to God early in life, but a lot of times experiences do it. You know what I mean? A lot of times you got to go through some things in life to experience certain things that do bring you closer to God.
Right.
And when you're an athlete, and a lot of times when you're a good athlete, you don't experience much adversity. You know what I mean? So it ain't until really it's over, or you get like to the top, of
You
levels.
experience adversity while you playing?
Yeah, but I mean, like,
about getting injured.
if you look,
Think
but
about-
how often do people get injured? I never got injured.
I got injured my senior year.
What happened?
I was on crutches
Like, how long?
for a couple of weeks, and
Couple
then
weeks? Did you come back and play though?
I did.
See?
But see, they wasn't trying to let me play. But I was like, this is my senior year, like I gotta play.
Yeah.
But think about the people that tear their ACL,
Yeah,
and
but it's like doesn't happen all the time.
I gotta look that statistic up.
We may should look it up because I think about how many years I played sports. I never saw one of my teammates tear ACL.
Really?
No, so like put that in perspective.
I mean, but see, then on the flip side, I've had Kiera Evans. She had something go on with her Achilles.
One person.
My sister, her shin and whatever.
Shin splints.
Shin
Everybody got
splints,
shin
leg
splints.
stuff. She has something.
I had shin splints now. We talking about things that keep you off the court, keep you off the field, keep you like in
I
your
had
career.
I had a couple of teammates that went through some stuff. I gotta look it up.
I mean,
But
no,
I wanna
look,
give you-
maybe I should have
but
said you
no,
don't
I
go through
understand what you're
adversity,
saying.
but
I understand what you're saying.
like things that like adversity, like the adversity that you face on a field or in a game, don't typically, you don't even think about God. Probably you want to like you mad.
You wanna get better.
Yeah, you want to
wanna
get better.
back.
You want to get better. You talk to your parents and they, you frustrated.
Yeah.
But it ain't something you go like, God, I wish you, help me get better or whatever. But that's not, But that's but for real.
I'm listening.
It's the truth.
I feel like there's some people that do say, God help me, please. If you just heal my ankle, I'll be a good person.
Yep.
Like, we all been there.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you gotta almost get to that right there. Like,
Yeah.
the brink of like, oh man, this could be completely over. Like,
Right.
who else do I talk to if my
Right.
dad can't heal my ankle? That's when we,
You're
that's
right.
why I say, like, it gotta be, it's typically something like that. But if you're like 9 times out of 10, like I said, I never had an injury. So I never really got to that point where it's like, even when I think about like when that doctor told me I couldn't play no more football, I remember just looking at my dad like, hey dad, like you can't tell him that I can play. You know what I
was
mean?
like, no.
Like I didn't like, God, what? Come on, tell him. I was like looking at my pops like, Pops,
You
tell
can't
this
tell
man
him.
I can play, but so look, just to get back to it. First
We
thing you
did
do
kinda
once it's over,
Take another vehicle.
man, not even take another vehicle. Like, talk to, go within yourself and figure out what that looks like at that moment first, and make sure like you can become like the best version of yourself, and then like find out what you're passionate about.
I was just about to say, how do they do that? Because there's some people getting ready to prepare for this life after sports right now, and they're watching. So how do they find what they're passionate about? What do you suggest as a former athlete?
I would say like maybe choose something that you could still be competitive. Maybe you could be a part of like something. You know what I mean? Like even to be a part of a gym, like whatever gym you go to, it's like, oh, I go to this gym. Like you're almost a part of, your guys are almost like a team. It gives you a sense of, that same kind of camaraderie in a sense. So maybe get around that kind of stuff first, and then, I don't know, like, I believe it's like power in a pen. So maybe just like write some stuff down of like what you, like where could you see yourself if you had no reserves? You know what I mean? Like what would be like your perfect life if you couldn't play football no more though? That wasn't a thing. But what else would be like your perfect life if nothing could hold you back? You know what I mean? Like no money, no anything, like no geographic area, like you could be wherever you want it to be. If you can like paint that kind of picture in your head of like what that would look like, and then create some steps to kind of get there, that's probably.
I've never wrote that. I've never asked myself that question.
I wrote a 10-year vision one time.
Wow.
When I worked at Lululemon.
And with the mindset of, if you can be and do anything.
Listen, it's so powerful right now. I probably tell it to you, it'd give me chill bumps.
Tell it to us.
Okay.
Is it long?
It's not that long. I will tell. I'm trying to tell it fast. All right. So at the time I was 27. So it went like this. I'm 37 years old. I'm living on the outer skirts of Atlanta. I have a blended family of 5. I wake up every morning at 4 a.m. and I go for a run. By the time I make it back from my run, my wife is getting my kids up for school. I talk to my wife. I have breakfast with my kids, and I have a 30-minute commute to the Atlanta Braves Stadium where I'm a coach. I said, for the first couple of hours, I'm checking emails because I'm also an entrepreneur as well. I own various businesses, so I'm always checking emails before the team gets there. By the time they get there, we go through our morning routine of practice, come back, have lunch. We go through our next phase of practice, and I probably take a 30-minute commute back home where I have dinner with my family. I spend time with my kids. I have love time with my wife, and I end up doing it all over again. So basically, like that was the day in the life of me at 37 years old. I'm 36. I'm here in Atlanta. I've been here for 3 years. Like, even for me to even be here right now, getting back into baseball, like, all this is scary. And, like, anything can happen.
Wow.
And I didn't even think I would even be here right now after writing that. So, like, it's power in the pen.
Hills and valleys. Yes. The power of the pen.
Absolutely.
Well, we are going to wrap it up because we just don't know. Thank you for coming to Forever Athlete Podcast.
Thank you guys for having me.
I have so many other questions for you, but we're going to wrap it up.
And hopefully this is not the last episode.
It's
hopefully
not.
We can
It's not.
run it back again.
We're going to run it back and figure some things out.
Absolutely.
Because hills and valleys is what we talked about in the beginning. And we are definitely in that valley at this moment. But I feel like you have dropped some very beneficial and much needed nuggets for our athletes that are currently in sports and then currently making that decision to step away.
Hope it helps.
I appreciate you.
Thank you.
Where can they follow you on Instagram? Where can they train with you?
I I currently train at the Loft Athletic Club, 275 Decatur Street. If you're seeing this, hey, look, hop in my DM, say, hey, I saw the episode. You know, you said if I saw it and I DM'd you, I get a free session.
Hey, free session on you?
Come on now.
Hey, y'all DM my friend James. Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
Thank you for having me.